For many years, I have offered partner yoga massage workshops or worked one-on-one with people who wanted to experience the nurturing and healing art of touch. This kind of practice requires close proximity to another human being. So I haven't been able to offer it at the studio because it's very hands-on. And I know that right now we're all craving these kinds of practices and having more meaningful connections with other human beings. This is why I'm offering this video right now. It's just a little sample of something that you can practice with someone in your own household. It doesn't even have to be your significant other. It can be a child or anybody else really in your household that you are comfortable being close to at the moment, that it's safe to do so. So I'm going to have someone in my own household as a receiver, so I can give the love, of Pranassage, which is what this yoga massage is. It's working with prana and the life force and experiencing a deeper connection to someone else. I'm going to start with, the neck and the shoulder area. So the important thing is for you to be comfortable while you're giving the massage, and also, of course, the receiver to be comfortable. So I'm going to start with hands on the shoulders. And it's kind of like paddling. You just go slowly, one and then the other, right and left, right and left. And I'm slowly applying gentle pressure with my palms, not with my fingers, but with the palms of the hands, and creating more space. And then you can use the pads of your fingers. You don't want to use the tips because the nails can be sharp or it's not comfortable. So use the pads, and then find the neck, find the bones, and start at the base towards the torso, and then run your fingers up the neck. You can do one hand at a time. I usually alternate the hand, one hand at a time, up the neck, all the way to where you feel that place where the head begins, and then you can place your fingers there. There's like right here, there's a place where you can run your fingers and then pull the head, gentle pressure towards yourself, so the head moves towards me and away from her body. And so that's what I'm doing. And then you can, of course, use your whole hand, and one hand picks up the head off the floor, the other hand is free, and then you can go up and down. You can switch hands, one hand, then the other hand, gentle pressure, one hand, other hand. And make sure you're breathing while you're doing this, deep breathing, which doesn't mean forceful breathing. It's just full and complete and present, so you can be present for the person that you're massaging. And again, you can use the pads of the fingers along the center of the neck, so along, you can feel the bones here, and then when you get closer to the head, you can use more of the whole palm of the hands. And then after a while, you gently put her head down, so we're not dropping the head. And one more time, I'm going to press the shoulders away from the ears, and it feels really good. Now I'm going to move to the arm. So simply what I'm going to do, start with this arm, and you just grab the hand, and usually I just hold the hand, and you can lift the elbow, and you can lift up and down and shake it a little bit, and you're holding hands gently, and just pick it up and shake. And you can also grab by the wrist, but not right at the wrist, but just below. And you can pull, you can use the other hand to help, and you just say relax your arm. So then she'll relax the arm, and You can pull, lifting the shoulder away from the floor. You lift. And it's almost like you're going to drop the arm, but you don't. Obviously, you don't want the elbow to bang on the floor. So you lift and then almost drop, but you know, this hand is here to make sure it doesn't happen. And then the next time you lift, you can use the other hand that's free, place it under the shoulder. So the shoulder is off the floor now, and you might be able to see better on the other side. So I grab the shoulder like this with like cupping, and I pull the shoulder blade down the back, and then you can release this arm down. And of course, we want things to be even and feel good, so I'm going to move to this side and do the same thing here. Again, I picked up the hand, you know, be comfortable, so I'm kneeling, it's comfortable for me, so do what's comfortable for you. You can sit any way that works for you. Grab the hand, so hand with hand, and that way now I can lift her arm, and I lift, and I start to shake, letting go of any tension. You shake, shake, shake. And so I come up, that's why I don't like kneeling, but you find what works for you. And I lift her shoulder on the floor, and I almost drop it, but of course I hold it, and that way you can release tension. And I'm breathing while I'm doing this. And shake, you can even shake this way. And then you lift the shoulder, and then cup the shoulder blade away from the ear, and then you can bring the arm down and release. And I usually like to just ground the arm, and I'll go back and make sure her shoulders are even. So same thing here, one more time. I'm going to move to the legs. I'm going to grab her legs really by the ankles and pull. And it's nice to create some space in the lower back. A lot of us are sitting all day at a desk, in front of a computer. So it's nice to create space, so just gentle pulling. And then release. And then also our hips are tight from all the sitting. So you can use one hand on the foot, one hand under the knee. So I grab the knee. So I always grab the joint so that it's safe. So I'm going to grab her knee and bend the knee. And I'm going to start to play with her flexibility. So you can feel when there's resistance, and you only go as far as the resistance allows you. You don't want to force anything. It should feel good. So I do this a few times. Maybe I circle a few times. And then this type of body work and yoga, which is a combination of the two, is really about using your whole body. So I'm using my hands now, but I'm going to put my foot here, and then her foot can rest on my hip crease. And that way I have a free hand now. And so I'm going to switch. So now this hand is free. I'm going to ground her with this hand. I'm going to put it on her other thigh to ground that leg, so I can work on her hip. And this hand here, and I go in and out. So again, as far as I can go without forcing. So never forcing, right? This is a labor of love. It's not something that you do for a specific result. It's just something that's nurturing and healing for the body. So you only go as far as you experience resistance, then you breathe there. And I like to start with movement, dynamic, gentle movement. And then you're like, okay, after a few moves, well, now we hold and we breathe together. Again, now to release. Same thing. There are many other things I could have done here, but this is just a little demo, so we'll keep it simple. And I'm going to move to this side. So I start here, and I'm going to grab her leg just under the knee, other foot, and then do the same thing on this side. So I go in and out a few times. Now you ease your way in, and it's amazing how the body responds. You know, the body's like, oh yeah, it's okay, I can relax. And then it's, you know, the range of motion starts to improve, not by force, but with love, with patience, with a little bit of dynamic movement. Again, you can circle a little bit. And reverse. And I'm going to do that same thing here. So I'm going to place my foot on the floor, so now I can place her foot on my leg, and now I have a free hand. I have even both hands because I can use this leg to hold this leg when I'm just, if you need to rest while you're doing it. So you want to make sure everybody's comfortable and stable. So now I'm stable, so now I can ground her leg with this hand, can use this hand here, and I can go in and out, again, only as far as I feel resistance. Now, there's a little bit more leverage because I'm using my leg, and I'm going in and out. And in truth, the person giving is receiving just as much, because this is fun, and I'm also, in a way, in a yoga pose doing this, right? And I'm using my breath. I mean, if I would be, you know, better if I weren't talking to you. Usually when we teach this, we do this, you know, in silence once you learn the technique, or when I'm giving a one-on-one session, I don't talk at all. But this is just so you understand. And then when you hold, when you feel like, oh yeah, we've done enough, and you can hold and breathe together. And then we'll release. Again, I go right for the joints. Again, knee, leg, and the ankle, and then let her experience the prana, right? The life force once I'm done with this part. Many other things I could do here, but again, just for the sake of time, we'll try something on the back. So let's roll to the back. And I'm going to use a pillow for her chest so it's comfortable. And over here, she will have her chest on the pillow, face off. Okay, and are you comfortable? Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you bring your arms down by your side? Yeah, so arms down by the side is easier on the shoulders. At any time she can also move her head. So again, here, really important, we're working with the spine now, and you want to make sure you don't press things down. It's more like along the spine rather than pressing down. So I'm going to make sure you're stable. So I'm kind of squatting stable. I'm going to place my foot on her sacrum, right, the upside down triangle, you know, at the base of the spine there. And then I'm pressing that way towards her feet rather than down. So there's gentle pressure with my foot. And she's breathing. I can feel her breathe under my foot. So then go for those things. These are the meaningful connection points. It's not just where you put your body on somebody else's body. It's like, can you feel the prana? Can you feel the breath there? And you can if you pay attention and you breathe together. And so what I'm going to do now is take a downward dog on her back. So more like the duck feet, so toes out, and then still pressing towards your feet. I'm not pressing down with my feet, I'm pressing back. So I'm lengthening her spine, in other words. And then I'm going to kneel on her upper back. And that's so good. And I'll take a few breaths here and stay here for a little bit. But then I'm going to start sliding my knees down her back. And oh, there were some cracks there. Kind of nice. Some release. And then keep going down. Sliding down. Rather than pressing down, you're sliding towards the lower back slowly. And then I can feel where I reach her waist. When I get to the waistline, I pause, and then you can massage the waistline with your knees, go in and out. But I'm really using my core, so I'm not dumping all my weight on her. I'm like pressing with my hands here and lifting with my core and massaging. So my knees are not completely pressing down, they're just massaging around. And then I put my toes down to exit. Knee on the buttocks right here. Again, putting a little pressure here with my knees. Moving my hands. So again, make sure that you're stable and comfortable when you're giving someone else a massage. And then, use your hands as well. Slowly going down. Make sure there's space. I'm going to shake her a little bit from side to side. Why don't you come up and press back to child's pose? That way, since we're working on your back, you can just stretch it. And a really nice thing you can do, she's in child's pose, she can grab my ankle. And I'm going to use my hands on her sacrum again. And then as I pick up this foot and I press it back and I press the sacrum in the opposite direction, and I'm giving her this really nice stretch. And then once I bend the knee, she knows we're done. And then you can just sit up and move more towards the middle of the mat. And you can sit. And I'm going to just kind of give you that little, it's fun just to show people. So I'm going to sit behind you and you sit with your feet together. So she's going to sit, this is like an interesting one. She sits with her feet together and I have my legs under her legs. So you see it's more intimate. That's why, it requires close proximity to somebody that you in the same household. Then right now it's okay. And I'm going to bring my arms under and try to grab her shins or whatever is available. And you have to breathe together for this to work. And it's all about leverage, because if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So you inhale, and as you exhale, you pick up your partner or friend, family member, and you rock, and it's so nice. And then you gently bring them back to the floor. Take a moment to recover. And then you can go back to lying down in Shavasana just to let the body absorb the benefits of the mini session. Lying down. And I'm going to, just to make sure she's comfortable, grab her ankles again, move a little bit from side to side. Just no tension, just release tension. But notice that I'm squatting and my spine is nice and long. I'm not rounding like this because that would hurt your back. So make sure that you're stable when you do something like this. See, I'm using my elbows on my thighs. And I'm going to make sure that she's relaxed here again in the shoulder. So this is something you can do in the beginning and the end. Same with the neck. And here with the neck, you can use your feet to press the neck away from the ears while you're holding the head the same way as before and pulling the head gently towards you. And you should feel really good. And then I gently place her head down, remove my feet. And you can bring your thumbs to the space between the eyebrows and slide them up and around to the temples, circular movement at the temples. And then give them time and space to simply be. And this is just as important. This is actually the most important pose. And time when you release your hands. As I said before, this is just a taste of what's possible. There are so many other things that I could share with you, and I hope that sooner than later we'll all be able to be close together so that I can share these workshops with you. Usually a workshop is 2.5 hours because we learn so much, or I also used to offer 75-minute one-on-one sessions, but as you can see, because you have to be very close to people, I haven't been able to do that. Right now is not possible, but who knows? If you would like to stay in touch, just come take my classes at Spirit Power Yoga, either in person in Issaquah or West Seattle, or we also offer classes on Zoom if that's what you prefer. And as a complement to yoga, you can come to Float Seattle, where I also work and float, sauna, have a cryotherapy session. These are all really, really good ways to support your yoga practice, your massage practice. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.